watching our channel. Please like
and subscribe.
Now stay tuned for the video.
Okay, welcome back to the channel. Before we go float test it, we need to make sure that we don't fall through the hole at all. Now remember, there are two big gaping holes in here, and we need to cover them. The proper thing to do is to tear out all of the wood, make sure that the stringers, that's these parts that run along the boat, make sure those are fully encased with new fiberglass. Get new wood, encase that in fiberglass, then put it in the boat, fiberglass from the deck to the side of the hole, and make sure it's all waterproof. I just want to get on the water. I don't know how long I'm going to keep this boat, etc., etc. So I'm going to do quick and dirty, make my own deck for it. What am I going to use? I'm going to use some 3/4 inch plywood. Now some people would say, we'll go get the exterior grade plywood. That's still too expensive. I'm going to get the cheapest plywood they have. Well, maybe not the cheapest. If it is more, they make a different grades of plywood. One has a little more, one is more dense, so it has less air pockets in it. The other one has air pockets because it doesn't matter for what they are usually used for. So I'm going to get I got something that is pretty dense. Went over to the mist tint in the home improvement store. Found a mist tint of an exterior grade stain that had some color in it. Cool, even better. So I figured out I can use one whole sheet of plywood to go in the boat. If I cut these out, this is for the seat, and then this extra one I'm cutting out, I can actually use the nose piece and put it up here. So that'll give me my whole entire area that I need to do. It's all one piece, and then I don't have to worry about anything sagging or seams or anything like that. Now, one thing I noticed after I started cutting and putting this all back in, the seats actually taper down. That's my bad representation of a seat. But the floor, there's no way that I could get a floor like this over the taper and to sit here on the floor here. So what I did is I cut it here so I could get this back part, and then this front part I was hoping that I could keep all as one part. I eventually couldn't because this tapers down in the front here as well, and I had to use a saw to cut these little indents out so it'll fit around the walls here, and I eventually had to cut it there as well. So continue watching the video. You'll see me measuring. I'm going to fast forward through that part because not really informative, but you get to see how I measured it and how I cut it out. And also in this video is kind of the aftermath of me polishing the boat. It's my goal to eventually wax it, but before I waxed it, I had to get rid of all of the oxidization. So I went to Harbor Freight, I got some of their cutting compound and their polishing compound, and got one of their simple polishing sanders, and went to town on it. So you'll see in the video where I only used the cutting compound, you can see how much of a difference that made. In my other videos you'll see, or actually right here, this is what it looks like when it's all done and sitting in the water, polished and pretty.
Alright, here's an update for everyone. Last night, I decided just to get this part of it. I didn't use the fine, I just used the first cutting compound. And I'm really happy with how that came out. What we did in here, we cut all of the excess out. Anything that was loose, we just cut it out with the Sawzall. Then up here, do the same thing. That center part is actually pretty good. There's a bulkhead sitting there. So didn't see the need on taking that out. And then here's all of the flooring for that. We stained it yesterday. I think I might try to do another stain on, or another layer on it. I don't really know how waterproof that is. I don't know if I would trust it or not. So we'll throw another layer on it and call it good.
Well, what do you know? I lost a video that I had of me recording how the parts actually go in the boat. So I'm going to draw, and I'm a terrible drawer. So we have the boat, and we have, let's see, we have that to go there. Then we have turn down this light. Alright. So we have the boat, we have the seat, we have another seat, and all of this is seats. And then this is the back seat and outboard. Alright, what I did is I cut this into 4 parts. I have one right there, 2, and 3. And you can see on the video that this has a little bit cut out here and here, so it'll fit the wall here. Now what I did for under here, I got another piece of plywood and cut it so it would go right there. So remember how the bolt hole is. It's not like that. There's actually little steps in here. And the main floor goes here. Sits on this step. And then, actually these ones are a little more like that. So what I did with this is I got a piece of 2x6, put it underneath here. Actually it'd be 2x6, it'd be taller. So it would sit right there. And then I got plywood, put it underneath. So it would sit here and match, well, it would go, yeah, it would match the original floor. Then I got a piece of plywood that went all the way over. And then I screwed from the top and glued this part, and then I got some construction adhesive and glued that part and that part. I wanted this kind of temporary so I could take it out and remove it. So I have a block here, and I have another block there, and another one here. I figured that's going to be the most places people are standing, is right here, walking across, right there. Not so people aren't going to be standing right there because you have the steering wheel in the way, and they're not so much either. Here, was enough cutout of the hole that the plywood sat on the lip all the way around, and it was pretty structural sound. Okay. Well, hopefully that makes sense on how I did it, and you can look back in the video and you can see the all the parts laying on the ground, and you can see that I have some 2x6s that are stained, and everything else is stained. And so I just got the plywood, laid it on top of the existing deck. I planned maybe in the future I would tear it all up and redo it. That didn't happen because I had to sell the boat. But this way we were able to go out and enjoy it at least a couple of times before we had to sell it.